Thank you for watching this video. Today I'm going to be sharing with you one of the smartest ways to rent your property and how you can increase your property's income and turn it into a cash cow. And also we're going to be talking about how you can take over properties and turn them into cash cows, even non conventional properties or properties that typically are not cash flowing currently. All right, let's get started. Now, one of the most typical ways for a person to rent a property, what we call the way A or the basic rental, is where a property owner or landlord rents out a house to an individual or they rent it out to a family. Now, what happens when you do this is you typically get less rents. You have to deal with court filings, you have to deal with evictions, and you typically have just a 1 year lease. All right. Now, what we focus on is our plan B, which is what we call our smartest home rental or our co-living rental. Okay. Now, what happens here is that we rent out our property, providing amenities that they typically do not get with a normal rental, such as it being fully furnished, you have high-speed internet or Wi-Fi, and you have maid service. Now, we focus on renting it to vets, nurses, they could be traveling nurses, they can be self-paid individuals, and others who can afford our rent based on our calculations, okay? Now, what we're talking about is a typical 4 bedroom rental. Now, what happens here is that we do not rent to individuals as far as leasing it out to an individual. We rent it out to an individual, but we do it under a licensee agreement. So we only do leases with companies and we do licenses with individuals. All right. Now, the reason why we do that is because we want the company to basically handle everything. We want the company to handle the furnishings, the high-speed internet setup, and coordinating with the cleaning companies to make sure that the house is kept in an orderly fashion on an ongoing basis for the comfort of all the residents. Okay. Now, typically, what happens is the company leases out the property for 3 to 10 years. The tenants are licensing their rooms on a weekly or monthly basis, and there are no eviction filings because they're not on the lease. And we simply just have them removed from the property, or we can set up an automatic locking system where the doors are locked out and the tenants are set up on a monthly or weekly automatic payment. And that's a debit directly to their checking account on an ongoing basis. Okay. Now, this is one of the things that we want to share with you. Typically, this is why you'll never see a hotel at a landlord to tenant proceeding in court, because hotels do not lease rooms, they only license them for short periods of time. Okay. And that's what we're doing here, but we're doing it on a weekly basis. Okay. Now, the document that they're signing says right at the top, this is not a lease. All right. And so what that means is that we typically can get higher rents because we're offering these amenities and the people that we're renting to have already pre-qualified and we know that they can afford the rent. Additionally, we have reduced our risk by not renting the whole asset out, meaning the house, to one individual, but we've reduced our risk by renting it out to 4 individuals who are renting rooms. And so our cash flow is typically not interrupted. All right. Now, let's talk about the money. Typically, we're going to make a lot more money in that situation. Whereas when we rent out the regular house, we only make a small amount of money because typically homeowners or landlords only want to cover their mortgage payment and make a little profit. But the way that we do it with the smart rental way, we can cover the mortgage payment or the rent. We agree with the owner of the property, and we make a sizable profit for ourselves minus our operating expenses, such as our high-speed internet, our maid service, utilities if we choose to include those, or our furnishings and setups. And based on our negotiation skills, we can see our operating costs be significantly less depending on the area that we're operating in, and we can see our revenue go up. All right, so this is why we do the smart rental. Typically, we can make 3 to 4 times what a regular landlord would make, given we're renting out the exact same asset, but we're doing it the smart rental way. Thank you for watching this presentation. If you would like to set up your business so that you can start renting the smart rental way, please visit nbvllc.com. This is a presentation brought to you by National Business Ventures. Again, that's nbvllc.com, and we'd be glad to help you with your smart rental.